Honorable members, as you are aware, the sitting of this afternoon was suspended for 15 minutes. This suspension was occasioned by actions and or utterances by various members of the House contrary to Standing Order 107 and 107A. Specifically, the said members, among other things, defied a ruling of the Speaker, made disruptive utterances, used violence against a member of the House, and acted in a manner to the serious detriment of the dignity of the House. Honorable members, I wish to advise you that we need at all times to observe decorum in the House and the dignity of the House. Honorable members, as your Speaker, I'm saddened at what I've witnessed this afternoon. I have consistently refrained myself from invoking standing orders relating to the discipline of the House. Following what has happened this afternoon, I want to direct as follows. The following members, having flouted the standing orders of the House by menacing each other, shouting at the chair, and making all manner of unprintable utterances, I will invoke the provisions of Standing Order 107A, grossly disorderly conduct. The following members are guilty of grossly disorderly conduct. Number 1, Millie Odhiambo. Number 2, Rosa Buyu. Number 3, Sabina Chege. Number 4, Fatuma Muyanzi. Number 5, Catherine Omanyo. Number 6, Joyce Kamene. And lastly, TJ Kajwang. Those members, honorable members, Standing Order 107.3 reads as follows. The Speaker may call a member whose conduct is grossly disorderly to order and shall order the member to withdraw immediately from the presence of Parliament for a maximum of 5 days and a maximum of 28 days. In this regard, therefore, the following members will suffer the following fate. Millie Odhiambo, 2 weeks. Rosa Buyu, 2 weeks. Fatuma Muyanzi, 5 days. Catherine Omanyo, 5 days. Joyce Kamene, 2 sittings. TJ Kajwang, 2 weeks. Sabina Chege, 2 weeks. Sergeant, can you have those members out of the chamber? Yes. What's the point of order? Murugara?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we were in the middle of debating the motion on the budget estimates. And most of the members have spoken, and they're in agreement and in support. And standing order number 95, I do apply to you, the Speaker, to allow the mover to reply.
Order, honorable members, I'll put the question that the mover be called upon to reply. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. With those of the kind of opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I thank all the members who have contributed to this debate and motion, Mr. Speaker, in regards to the budget estimates for financial year 2023-2024. As you have noted, Mr. Speaker, there is a lot of proposals, Mr. Speaker, on where we'll be expending our resources. We are taking 30% of our budget to education, Mr. Speaker, which is 630 billion Kenya shillings. Mr. Speaker, we have also input the monies to expend for fertilizer for our farmers. Mr. Speaker, we have also allocated 3 billion Kenya shillings that will go into finishing the ongoing ESP markets, Mr. Speaker, and many much more, Mr. Speaker, proposals. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to members, Mr. Speaker, and benefited from their opinions and contributions. What I want to assure all the members is that we'll make sure that this budget and these estimates, Mr. Speaker, will be implemented to the letter so that we continue serving the people of Kenya through this budget. Mr. Speaker, also, in terms of policy, we will endeavor to do the best, Mr. Speaker, because as members are aware, the budget itself, that is government spending and government expenditure, accounts for only around 22% of our GDP. And therefore, even in regards to, Mr. Speaker, the policy, we will continue serving the people of Kenya to make agriculture viable for our farmers, to streamline, Mr. Speaker, our education, and to put all the resources into various value chains. Mr. Speaker, I thank all the members. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the National Treasury. I thank the membership of Budget, all the departmental chairs, Mr. Speaker, and all the members of this House from both sides. And Mr. Speaker, having said that, I beg to reply.
I'll now put the question, which is that this House adopts the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on budget estimates for the national government, the judiciary, and Parliament for the financial year 2023-24, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 6th June 2023, and pursuant the provisions of Article 221 of the Constitution, Section 39 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, and Standing Order 239-1, approves the issuance of a sum of Kenya shillings 2,308,410,784,957 from the Consolidated Fund to meet the expenditure during the year ending 30th June 2024, in respect of the votes contained in the first schedule to the order paper subject to paragraph 3, Committee of Supply. 2, make the policy and financial resolutions as contained in the second schedule to the order paper. 3, orders that the Speaker do now leave the chair to facilitate the consideration of the said budget estimates with respect to each vote and program in the Committee of Supply as contemplated under Standing Order 240, consideration of estimates in the Committee of Supply. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
The next order. Order number 10.
Order, honorable
Motion.
members, order. Order, honorable members, take your seats. Take your seats. Honorable members, you very well know the rules that apply and govern divisions. You have not observed the rules and you have no capacity to call for division in this matter. Next order. Next order.
Order number 10, motion, ratification of the amended Nairobi Convention and the protocol for the protection of the marine and coastal environment of the Western Indian Ocean from land-based sources and activities.
Chairman, Departmental Committee on Environment, Forest and Mining. Yes, sir.
Honorable Speaker, I beg your indulgence because the Chair Environment
Yes.
is not in the House and therefore beg to adjourn that particular motion until a time when the Chair was engaged elsewhere, Honorable Speaker. We beg your indulgence and order the House to step down that business for today. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker had indicated that the Chair of Environment is away from the House this afternoon, and he had not anticipated, Honorable Speaker, that we will get to this business in the course of this afternoon, and therefore beg to ask that orders listed as motion, order number 10, order number 11, order number 12, be stepped down this afternoon, Honorable Speaker, since the Chair who would have moved those had requested for time out this afternoon. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Number 10, 11. Honorable members, orders 10, 11, and 12 are stepped down for this afternoon. Call out order number 13.
Order number 13, motion, report on the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and Global Parliamentarians Against Corruption meeting.
Leader of delegation to this United Nations Convention is in the house. Shakil Shabir is in the house. The matter is also stayed. Order number 14.
Order number 14, the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 60 of 2022, second reading.
Honorable Speaker, as indicated, even order number 14 on the miscellaneous statute amendment bill, Honorable Speaker, there are still two chairs of committees who were to finalize their committee reports, and we had not intended to actually reach to this order in the course of this afternoon, and therefore seek your indulgence to also step it down for today.
Honorable Minority Leader, you call for a point of order when something is out of order. But you are calling for a point of order when you yourself is not in a disorderly position. You have remained standing throughout the proceedings, contrary to the standing orders. You have countenanced an unlawful choir in the House as the proceedings are going on. And you cannot benefit from the standing orders if you don't observe them. Honorable members, we have come to the last order of the day, and I order that the House now stand adjourned until Tuesday, the Tuesday 13th of June 2023 at 2:30 p.m.
He has committed, with the support that they have now received from the World Bank on that facility that they have, and the tax collections they have made, they continue to mobilize. They will be able to disburse all of CDF, and no amount of CDF for this financial year will be carried forward to the next financial year. And I think, Honorable Speaker, that is very important, so that we do not have arrears. As you are aware, Honorable Speaker, the Budget and Appropriations Committee also did allocate some money towards clearance of arrears. They have also indicated that they will clear those arrears, and they do not intend to carry forward arrears from this year into the next financial year. And he has committed that they will endeavor and ask for your thanks, members of Parliament. He did ask me to ask members of Parliament to indulge them, and thank you for your patience over that time, because many of our constituents have been suffering without CDF, Honorable Speaker. I myself, I was in my constituency over the recess period, and I visited at least 3 schools which, as a result of the heavy rains, pit latrines collapsed. And the children in those schools now are using semi-permanent pit latrines because we didn't have even emergency funds. We had cleared all our emergency money. And therefore, I, like every other member of this House, I am looking forward to the disbursement of this money, and hopefully by the end of next week, I can promise the children of Karai Day Secondary School, those of Gadhiru Primary School, and one other school which I can't remember offhand, Honorable Speaker, who have requested for emergency funding for toilets and other needs, including bursary, Honorable Speaker. They should be able to assuage. But Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, let me also plead. And I don't do this on behalf of the National Treasury, I do this as a leader in this country. That is, it is so easy to say things that will excite the masses out there. But we all live in this country, and we lived in this country before this year. And we know the situation of our economy. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, even as we engage on matters that we will be engaging on this afternoon on budget, on the appropriations report, or the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, let it be at the back of our minds that whatever expenditures we are discussing, and including NGCDF, because it is in that report, and the Honorable John Buddy, we remember back in 2018, we got to a point where we even had to take a haircut on NGCDF. It is good that at least in the last 2 years, amidst all the difficulties,
we have not had to take a haircut either on NGCDF or on any other government projects, including the 900 billion shillings of roads committed to over the last 5 years. And this government, Honorable Speaker, has indicated that they intend to finance all those roads across the country without discriminating that this project is in Kikuyu or is in John Mbadi's former constituency or in the constituency of the leader of minority, so that we are able to mobilize resources. Honorable Speaker, I have seen very good analysts on our TV stations. Some saying, oh, the first thing you should do is completely cut on expenditure. Stop all the development projects. But Honorable Speaker, those who have been to a class of economics, like the Honorable Babu Owino, will tell you, if you are to do that, you will be shooting yourselves right in the middle of your toe, the big toe, and you will not be able to work as a country and as an economy. Because it is these development projects that spur economic growth in our countries. When roads are being constructed in your constituencies, they create employment, and people therefore are able even to raise more taxes because they have disposable income. If we are to go that route, Honorable Speaker, as I've seen some analysts on TV encourage us to do, and I say this, Honorable Speaker, because this afternoon we have before us, I know when we are here up to 9 p.m., many of us who are not here, we have the second reading on the budget and appropriations report. As we contribute, it is good that we have that at the back of our minds, that even as analysts who seem very knowledgeable on TV, but I must say some are ignorantly knowledgeable, because you just need to have attended a basic economics class to know that if you are to cut down on government expenditure, government is the single largest spender of resources. And without disbursement of resources from government, be it at the national level or the county level, this economy will come to a standstill, Honorable Speaker. And we must therefore, even as we consider this budget appropriations report, have at the back of our minds that also what we will finance is what will be before us when the Finance Committee finally tables their report, Honorable Speaker. And without much more, Honorable Speaker, on that matter, if you allow me to move on to the second statement, my usual Thursday statement on the House Business Committee. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Millie. What is the point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Majority Leader for presenting that. And I just wish, before I raise my point of order, to applaud him to laud him for acknowledging that the last two years, I hope he's seeing that I'm underlining the last 2 years, CDF was not reduced. And I'm glad that he's also acknowledging the challenges of running a government. He's always been complaining, now he's on the receiving end. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted the Majority Leader to clarify that he's actually indicated that the World Bank has given some money, and he has further said that today money is being disbursed to the counties, and every day we sit here, money is disbursed to the counties, but we shoot ourselves on the foot because we are the ones who prepare the budget and there's no money taken to NGCDF. Why are we not prioritizing NGCDF and GAF? Why are we not prioritizing ourselves? Why are we treating ourselves as children of a lesser God? So, yes, second-class citizens, and we are the ones who are in charge of the budget. So, Mr. Speaker, if the Majority Leader could please explain why that money from the World Bank is not prioritized to us, and secondly, why we are putting counties ahead of the national government money, CDF. And our counties, people are suffering. You say, I'm glad you have said that your toilets are down. Even ours, the toilets are down and the classes are down with roofs and the rains. And roads are completely messed up. So why are we not prioritizing NGCDF? You know, I'm annoyed until now I'm getting a Kikuyu accent. So can you please explain to us why you are not prioritizing? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Go on with your next statement.
Honorable Speaker, Millie says she's getting a Kikuyu accent with prioritizing. But NGCDF, in fact, I've just seen Mr. Ndungu is watching, and he's just sent me a text saying NGCDF and GAF, today we are funding the 5 billion and next week. So he's actually disbursing today, but it will hit the accounts of the board tomorrow. So maybe I have not gotten that right. But as Millie has asked, Honorable Speaker, it is indeed true. Prioritization is with NGCDF and money to the counties. As I've indicated, counties are being funded, and NGCDF is second. Therefore, that, Honorable Speaker, I think is clear that there is that prioritization. And lastly, Honorable Millie, I am yet to run any government. Hopefully, after William Ruto finishes his term, probably myself and the Honorable Speaker will have the opportunity to run a government. I am now oversighting one. Honorable Speaker, allow me now to move to the usual statement on behalf of the House Business Committee.
Order. That statement on CDF is self-explanatory. The only person who raised the issue was Robert Mbui. After he finishes his second statement, I'll give you 2 minutes to make a comment and close it there.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to welcome all members again, once again, back to the after the long recess.
On the same matter, Masara?
Mr. Speaker, for the first time I've had the majority leader calling the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto. Do you are in any way trying to tell us that you have removed other titles now that you are discussing CDF, Mr. Ichungwa? It is quite out of order for you, the leader of majority, not to use all the titles somebody has earned. So it seems things are not right with the majority leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. That is a most frivolous point of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. But Honorable Speaker, you must appreciate the Honorable Masara. At least now he's not protesting and saying he does not recognize President William Ruto, His Excellency President William Samoei Arap Ruto, as a president. At least now he appreciates that the president is Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Honorable Speaker, I wish to welcome back members after the long recess and trust that you are all well refreshed for this part of the second session. Honorable Speaker, as members are aware, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, the Honorable Ezekiel Machogu, CBS, appeared before the National Assembly plenary to answer questions on education matters yesterday, Wednesday, 7th June 2023. I would like to thank members for their continued active participation in this process. With regard to the business for next week, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee has scheduled debate on special motions and consideration for a nominee for appointment as the Director General of the National Intelligence Service and 2 nominees for appointment as members of the Judicial Service Commission for next Tuesday. The House is also expected to continue with debate on the second reading of the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2022, and the following motion should they not be concluded today. 1, the general debate on the report on the consideration of the budget estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2023-2024 and the medium term. 2, report on the ratification of the amended Nairobi Convention and the protocol for the protection of marine and coastal environment of the Western Indian Ocean from land-based sources and activities. 3 is a report on ratification of the Kigali Amendment on the Montreal protocol on the substances that deplete the ozone layer. 4 is a report on ratification of the Bamako Convention on the ban of the importation into Africa and the control of transboundary movement and management of hazardous waste within Africa. And 5, report of the Kenyan delegation to the Parliamentary Dialogue on United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, and Global Parliamentarians Against Corruption, GOPAC Annual General Meeting. Honorable Speaker, at the conclusion of the general debate on the budget estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2023-2024 and the medium term, the House will also consider the annual estimates in the Committee of Supply during the week. On Thursday, 15th June 2023, the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning, Professor Njuguna Ndongo, CBS, will make a public pronouncement of the budget highlights and revenue-raising measures for the financial year 2023-2024 and the medium term as communicated by the Honorable Speaker on Tuesday, 6th June 2023. The House Business Committee shall reconvene on Tuesday, 13th June 2023 to schedule business for the rest of the week. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5 and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection is scheduled to appear before the House on the afternoon of Wednesday, 14th June 2023 to respond to the following questions. 1, question number 088 of 2023 by the member for Konoin constituency, the Honorable Brighton Yegon, MP, regarding the welfare of Kenyans working in Saudi Arabia and efforts geared towards regulated licensing of recruiting agencies. 2, question number 089 of 2023 by the member for Yatta constituency, the Honorable Robert Basil, MP, regarding incorporation of senior citizens into the older persons cash transfer scheme. 3, question number 090 of 2023 by the member for Konoin constituency, the Honorable Brighton Yegon, MP, regarding formulation policy framework to support children whose parents or guardians are incarcerated. 4, question number 091 of 2023 by the member for Machakos County, the Honorable Joyce Kamene, MP, regarding the plight of orphans, widows and widowers in the country. 5, question number 092 of 2023 by the member for Kirinyaga County, the Honorable Njeri Maina, MP, regarding the effectiveness of Inua Jamii program since its inception. And finally, question number 160 of 2023 by the member for Kiambu constituency, the Honorable Mashua Waithaka, MP, regarding eligibility of cancer survivors being registered as persons with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5 and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development is scheduled to appear before the House on the same afternoon of Wednesday, 14th June 2023 to respond to the following questions. 1, question number 084-2023 by the member for Mwingi Central, the Honorable Gideon Muliungi, MP, regarding resurveying and correction of titles for parcels of land in Mui Coal Basin, adjudication, survey and title deed issuance for parcels in Mwingi East Sub-County bordering Tana River County. 2, question number 085 of 2023 by the member for Mwingi Central constituency, the Honorable Gideon Muliungi, again, regarding the high mast security lighting project undertaken in Mwingi Town. 3, question number 086 of 2023 by the member for Saboti constituency, the Honorable Caleb Amisi, MP, regarding the governance and administrative structures of Kwale International Sugar Company, ownership status of property, land reference number 5004/30/R, and also number 27742. 4, question number 087 of 2023 by the member for Laisamis constituency, the Honorable Joseph Lakuton, MP, regarding Laisamis constituency and county boundaries. 5, question number 109 of 2023 by the member for Nakuru East constituency, the Honorable David Gikaria, MP, regarding the Kazim Taani project phase 3 in 2022 in Nakuru Town East constituency. Question number 117 of 2023 by the member for Embakasi West constituency, the Honorable Mark Mwenje, MP, regarding status of ownership of land reference number 12304, original number 1344/1, and 12504 and 12147, original numbers 11344/4, EMCO. Honorable Speaker, I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you. And apologies, it was a long one today.
Thank you, honorable members. I wish to acknowledge in the public gallery Miharati Boys High School, Kipipiri, Nyandarua, Moi High School, Kabarak, Rongai, Nakuru, Arokuyet Girls High School, Bureti, Kericho. On my behalf and on your behalf, I wish to welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Wanjiku Moya has asked me for 1 minute to welcome a school from her constituency. 1 minute exactly.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I take this opportunity to welcome Miharati Boys, one of our great schools from our sub-county headquarters in Kipipiri, and they could not have visited this National Assembly a better time than during budget, and now they have heard from the majority leader. They have good news to take home. Inform the parents that NGCDF will be disbursed tomorrow, and your long-awaited computer lab will kickstart construction, and on its completion, we shall ask the majority leader to come and open it so that you can relate your trip in the National Assembly and this budget of this year. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Robert Mbui, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to just clarify that even as I raised this question in the last assembly, this issue of CDF is not an issue of members of parliament, because sometimes the public gets confused. Members of parliament are interested in ensuring that this money goes to the constituencies for development of the constituencies. And I want to thank the majority leader for highlighting even some of the challenges that he's having. Mr. Speaker, my concern is on the dignity of the House. Remember that the CS Treasury has already given 2 letters confirming that money will be disbursed, 2 billion every week, and the first time he failed, the second time he has failed. Simple English tells me that once bitten, twice shy. I don't know when twice bitten what you say, because Mr. Speaker, 2 times we have actually not gotten the result of what we wanted. And Mr. Speaker, as we discuss the budget, it is clear that one of the things we have to do is appropriate the funds. The other one is to ensure that there is prudent expenditure of the same funds. Now, we are just a month to the end of the financial year, and we are talking about, Mr. Speaker, from what the majority leader has told us, 38% of this money has been released in the last 11 months. And now he wants us to believe, Mr. Speaker, that we will be able to get 62% within 1 month. Mr. Speaker, I want to propose as follows, Mr. Speaker, because we are the ones dealing with the budget. And Mr. Speaker, if for 11 months we have not been able to get the funds for this financial year for National Government Constituency Development Fund, GAF, and also the counties, maybe we suspend the debate on the budget until this money hits our accounts. Then we can come back. You can call us on Saturday, you can call us on Sunday, any day we can come and continue. But let us give them an opportunity to put the money in their accounts, because what they are telling us they'll do in a month, they can do in a day if they are willing to do that. Mr. Speaker, I propose no CDF, no budget. No money for counties, no budget. No GAF, no budget, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Robert Mbui, you brought a very noble request. I would have easily said, go and talk to the Treasury. I directed the majority leader to bring you a response, which he has brought, and they said they are disbursing the money. The debate on the budget is ongoing, and the question will not even be put today. We have up to next week. So I want to encourage you that extremist position is unhelpful, and that we do not encourage it. When we reach the order, we carry on with the debate. Robustly debate as you always do. A budget statement will be presented to this House on Thursday. It falls within the period within which the majority leader said money will be disbursed. What I thought you would be negotiating is that when the money is disbursed, I don't know what the regulations say, that when the end of the financial year truncates every expenditure, you ring-fence that money to carry on with the programs. If it is safe, then you need not worry. Then I encourage you to engage with the majority leader, and if you have any issues, you can refer to me, because I have constantly gone beyond my duty of call as your speaker to engage the treasury, to disburse even funds for your mileage claims, for those who get mileage, for your subsistence, and for other things that encourage us to run the house. So I want you to also be fair and patient, and I thank you for raising the issue, because it has elicited a response that looks positive. It may be inadequate, but it's positive. Honorable Ichungwa, Order Wanjala, Honorable Ichungwa, the women rep for Kilifi, has come here to request the chair to ask you whether the disbursement coming today includes money for women MPs. And I thought I heard you say so. So, Honorable Mbeyu, your question is answered. I will, I'm not encouraging any debate on this. Honorable Mbeyu, take your seat, please. He has said he spoke for CDF and women money as well, so you don't need to speak to it. Take your seat. Take your seat. Order. Honorable Mbeyu, when the speaker tells you to take your seat, you gracefully take your seat. And when you came to the chair to make a request, you and I agreed that I'll put it to him, which I have done, and he has given an answer. Now you are reneging on what we just agreed, and that is not being honorable. So I want to... Next order. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, general debate on the proposal to Parliament to consider amending the Constitution and the standing orders. Question to be put.
Order, honorable member, take your seat. I'm putting the question on this matter. Honorable members, I now put the question on the general debate on the proposal to Parliament to consider amending the Constitution and the standing orders. That noting the contents of a memorandum submitted to Parliament by His Excellency the President, asking Parliament to consider initiating amendments to the Constitution, acknowledging that actualization of the proposals which relate to inter alia the composition of Parliament as provided for in Article 97 and 98 of the Constitution, in order to attain the 2/3 gender principle, the creation of the office of Leader of Official Opposition in Parliament, and the inclusion of various funds in the Constitution will necessitate amendment to the Constitution, while the restructuring of parliamentary oversight to allow for cabinet secretaries to appear before the House of Parliament to respond to questions by members would require the amendments of standing orders, further acknowledging that the Speaker via the notification issued on 9th December 2022 referred the matter raised in the memorandum to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs with regard to proposals relating to the implementation of the 2/3 gender principle and the establishment of the office of the Leader of Official Opposition. The Joint Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, with regard to the proposals to amend the Constitution to entrench the constituency development, Senate oversight, and national government affirmative action funds, and the Procedure and House Rules Committee with regard to the proposals to amend the standing orders to strengthen parliamentary oversight of the executive so as to facilitate public participation pursuant to Article 118 of the Constitution. Now, therefore, Pursuant to the provisions of Article 1, 2, and 95(2) of the Constitution, this House notes, considers, and makes general comments on the proposals contained in the memorandum by His Excellency the President. Will as members of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it.
Order number 9, motion, consideration of the budget estimates for the financial year 2023-2024, general debate, day 2, resumption of debate.
The member for Wajir North was on the floor, and you have a balance of 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may proceed from where I was interrupted yesterday in supporting the budget appropriation report, I want to say that the budget estimate entrenches equitable and sustainable equitable tax and equity and sustainability in both tax and expenditure. Mr. Speaker, this was first seen and actually last seen during Kibaki's term in the Vision 2030 and the economic stimulus program. And most of these are fundamental principles in our constitution. Mr. Speaker, it is critical the situation of fiscal management in our nation that has been built over time since independence. The failure to rationalize the 2 tiers of government, both national and county government. Mr. Speaker, I can't listen. I can't hear. There's too much noise.
Order, honorable members, order. Order, honorable members. Order, majority whip. Will you take your seats? Order, honorable members. We are debating a very important issue, budgets. And it's good to hear your colleagues as they give their views, just like they'll hear you when you give yours. So those members who want to converse, we can't stop you. You can walk out to the corridor, or there are rooms behind the speaker's chair. You can go there and engage in your conversations, and allow those who are interested in debate, carry on with the debate and hear debate. Carry on, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was saying we are in a very critical situation in the fiscal management of our nation that was built over time in terms of tax management, corruption, wastage since independence, and the failure to rationalize the 2 tiers of government, both the county and the national government, in terms of size and operations since 2010. This was further exacerbated by the handshake, which has led to stalled projects and indiscriminate borrowing, Mr. Speaker. These are serious times which can make and break this nation. We are in a very hard situation, and this demands for our collective support of all to find a sustainable situation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the elephant in the room is the diminished public trust in our institutions. In regard to grievances largely emanating from inability to tame economic indiscipline, inequity, marginalization, discrimination in terms of investment and use of public resources, corruption in all forms, and public resource wastage. Mr. Speaker, first on the equity and sustainability. Though I'm not a finance expert, I believe the regulations and administration set within the budget estimate guarantee that there is a balance in terms of tax balance between the haves and the have-nots. At least the major corporates are brought on board to make sure that they pay substantially. There is zero rating of food production, fertilizers, and all other technologies, and a really stringent tax administration to counter avoidance and evasions of tax payment, Mr. Speaker. Further, Mr. Speaker, the sustainability of tax principle is more visible in the revenue, in the expenditure perspective, I mean, Mr. Speaker. Our government has been allocating development and investment along the railway line during the colonial time, which was further inherited by the government from 1963. There was a skewed distribution of development, and since then we have had disparities in terms of allocations. Equity has not been.
Time up. Member for Chuka Igambangombe. Patrick Mwiga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this report on the 23rd, 24th financial year budget estimate as tabled by the Budget and Appropriation Committee. Mr. Speaker, the Budget and Appropriation Committee report proposes to increase the allocation to health sector from